if you are a loner and you are most of the time, by yourself, and I don't know if you experience this, but you also catch yourself sometimes talking to yourself while no one is there, and it's not like a little bit, but on multiple occasions. Or at least I tend to do this quite a lot. So, yeah, I'll be talking about this, and I don't know if I haven't asked a lot of other people if they also do this, but I sometimes do catch myself, when it's very lonely, or not lonely, but silent. Then I have to do something, or I walk to the fridge or something, and then I open the fridge, and it's like on my way to the fridge, I'm already saying stuff like, okay, let's see what's in the fridge. And then you open up and you look at it, and then you say things out loud while thinking. For example, like, okay, so what's in your first drawer? Nothing there, nothing here. Do I want to eat this? No, I don't want to eat that. And then you close the fridge back again, you walk back. No one is there. So I was basically just talking to myself. Same thing sometimes when you, for example, go to a mirror and then you look at yourself and then you make some stupid comments about yourself. For example, like, oh, you're a good looking guy, aren't you? Or sometimes you say negative things about yourself. It's like, you're a fucking ugly guy, aren't you? That kind of stuff. And I happen to catch myself like many times that I do this kind of thing. I'm not really sure if this is normal. I do imagine that more people than myself that live a bit more of a solitude kind of life also kind of really talk to themselves quite many times. And I haven't done any research whether this is, a good thing or a bad thing. Also, given, as you have like people are different, and some people are more introverted, others are more extroverted. I myself am more on the introverted spectrum, so I don't mind spending time by myself. And uh, never, done the research. Don't know if the research is even there that they've analyzed, the frequency of introverted versus extroverted people, um, whenever they're alone by themselves, that they talk to themselves. That they talk because of the solitude and stuff, and then that they tend to talk to themselves. I don't know if it's more prevalent in the introverts or whether it's more prevalent with the extroverts. Um, I do catch myself doing these kind of things quite a lot, and it's not that I'm feeling lonely or anything, but just sometimes because of the silence and stuff, you just want to up the mood a little bit, right? And then you just start talking to yourself. Sometimes it's even nonsense. Like, okay, not sometimes, it's like many times it's nonsense that I catch myself talking to myself in the mirror for maybe about nothing, really, basically nothing. And that's like 80 to 90% of the times. But there are also occasions that I do catch myself talking in a more sensical kind of way. So uh, a thing might be, um, so yeah, a thing might be, for example, that I've been fussing about work quite a lot during the day or the whole week and stuff like that. And because of the fuzzing, my mind is constantly on that, and other things, are put on the background and more in the backlog and stuff like that. And then when I catch myself talking to myself, I say things like, hey, you should, focus more on this. Yeah, I will focus on that. Which is the thing, what I'm saying is not focusing on the work part, but more like on a specific other thing that also has, that I find interesting and has importance to me. So I sometimes also do catch myself saying to myself positive things that makes me reflect on, like, oh yeah, I was like fuzzing about work this whole time. I can now I come to the realization that I can also spend my time a bit more on some fun activities that are not, constantly about this thing that I don't even like that much or something. So in on occasions, I also do say things to myself that I catch are can be beneficial in a sense. Um, so for example, of course, everyone has this. You have those days where it's a bit more negative, right? Everyone has a bit, some days that are a bit more negative than other days. No one has like a full on, everyday positive day. Some days are positive, some days are negative, some days super positive, some days super negative. And on those days where I have, a bit of a more of a negative day, and on occasions when I'm, by myself, silence and stuff like that, and catch myself talking to myself, then on these occasions, sometimes I also do say some positive things to myself, which I then reflect upon again, and then think about like, yeah, this whole day where I was so negative, this was like useless. Why was I so negative? This was like, I was worrying about a problem that wasn't really that significant at all. And then in a way, by talking to myself, I also cheer myself up. So I don't know if you guys also um experienced it this like talking to yourself um 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 quite a lot, or on occasions, not really even sure if it's a bad thing or not. I kind of think uh, it's kind of good because I have noticed that uh, not 90% of the time, but on occasions, like 10% of the time, I sometimes also speak things that are of value to me, that makes me reflect on things, the negative things or something that I've been thinking about, and then changes my mind and even my emotions a little bit for that day. So yeah, it has benefits. And I don't see the negative part of it yet. Maybe when other people observe you and they see you and they're constantly talking to yourself, some people might say that you're a little bit crazy or something. But as long as you're saying, or as long as as it helps you with, your functioning and your emotions throughout the day, life, etc. If it helps you with that, I kind of think it isn't really that bad. Um, yeah. So basically, I just want to say it's a good thing to be talking to myself, because just face the fact, we're all, like individuals, and who are we hanging out with the most? Basically, it's ourselves, right? I'm seeing myself, I'm hanging out with myself 24/7. It's nonstop. So might as well talk to myself on occasions and uh, get to know myself a bit better, right? It's a good thing. You can have a spouse, you can have wives, can have kids, you can hang out with them, but I can guarantee you, you will never hang out with them as much as you hang out with yourself, which is 24/7. Yeah, like you are basically your own best friend. So might as well get along and get to know yourself a bit better, right? So yeah, that's the topic for this week. Nothing else. I'll check you guys next time then. Bye bye.